Well, this is unfortunately another sad story about innocent people being killed by a very powerful military machine that drives economies and also drives people around the world to do horrific activities. The endless bombing campaigns in Iraq, Syria, and elsewhere throughout the Middle East and Asia has continued to rob innocent people of their safety and their God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And sadly, that pursuit of happiness and life and liberty really only belongs to the people that are in control or have the benefit of having a very strong military that continues to dominate global politics and global economics. And this has been something that has gone on throughout the centuries for nations that have conquered other nations and attacked other nations. So most people in Western countries aren't really capable of facing the truth about these pains and sufferings that their governments are inflicting on weaker countries around the world. The human spirit and individual reaction is often more comfortable than with moving forward, toward the pleasure and the love and the enjoyment they have of being with each other, rather than reacting to the pain and suffering, especially with any pain and suffering that's not associated with their personal experience. So, I would say one of the things that we could do to help stop this type of thing is to appeal to people's compassion more gently and try to communicate more gently to the societies as a whole, because people are more easily drawn to compassion and emotional attachment to individuals that they can relate to, where they have similar or more closely related ideas, and sadly most people aren't looking at the reports like this one. They're fed a completely different perspective of misinformation, and they're basically they're not able to process the pain and suffering that their governments are causing around the world, because that's not the way that it's presented to them. If you look at the story recently with Syrian Shim, she was obviously an innocent person who was killed in a very suspicious way in Turkey, and it was an American reporter, and it made no headlines in major news outlets in the United States. Just like this particular situation, where it's not going to be condemned and it's not going to appeal to the compassion, because the media is such a controlled environment, that the governments really understand the power of how to control the media to focus individuals' attentions on an alternative perspective that works in favor of their governments and their agendas. So the compassion for the pain and the suffering for others, that we are not closely related to, is commonly overshadowed by that misinformation and fear maintained and perpetuated by our governments, our media, our educational systems. So the best thing that we can do as individuals in the independent media space and the alternative truth media spaces like Press TV and RT that are being perpetually censored on not only social media but also satellite media, as well as cable and other broadcast media in the United States, as well and elsewhere around the world. The best thing we can do is continue to appeal to the compassion of individuals, try to present these stories without any bias or without any type of derogatory commentary, and pull those people closer to us. And as we grow I see it a lot with people like Ava Bartlett and other individuals that are, talking at this level, that we can actually grow our connection to other people and get the message out to a much broader audience. And once that audience becomes so much more powerful, then that will be the catalyst to turning the perpetual military-industrial complex control and dominance in these types of horrifying attacks that we deal with on a daily basis.